Another entrant into the presidential race, Charity Ngilu.
Well, indeed, now there are many. There are three ladies who are vying for the presidency in this country. We will be bringing you more on her presidential bid launch today, plus these others on KTN Prime and KTN Sunday Night Live. I'm Eric Latif.
And I'm Ann Kiguta. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Until Friday evening 6 o'clock, and we have not been served with any court order.
I accept the NAC party nomination for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya.
Charity Ngilu joins the race for president, but so late in the day.
Show of unity as Mombasa Imams go to church to preach peace. And in sports, AFC Leopards keep Congo United out of the FKF Cup competition.
Thank you for making time to join us. Uncertainty has gripped the nation ahead of the reopening of schools this week for the third term, as both the Kenya National Union of Teachers and the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Teachers went ahead to say that they will go ahead with their strikes. The NUT leadership has called on parents not to take their children to school until the government meets the teachers' demands. They appear set to ignore a court order stopping both strikes until a case filed by the Teachers Service Commission is determined at the Industrial Court. Here now is KTN's Angel Katusia.
3rd September, the start of the most crucial yet the shortest school term. It is, however, not very clear if parents will be sending their children to school after teachers, both primary and secondary, remained adamant that the strike is on. The Kenya National Union of Teachers NAT says teachers under the union will not resume duty this term as the government has turned a deaf ear on their demands.
The nationwide teachers strike for all the teachers in the teacher training colleges, tertiary institutions, all the secondary schools and all the primary schools in Kenya commences as scheduled and as sanctioned by the National Executive Council tomorrow.
This flies in the face of a court order served on two teachers' unions through a newspaper notice this Sunday, in which Industrial Court Judge Brian Ongaya ordered the unions not to go on with the strike action scheduled to begin on Monday for NAT and on Wednesday for KUPPET members. The judge wants NAT and KUPPET to wait until Tuesday, when a challenge against the strike filed by the Teachers Service Commission (TSC) is heard and determined. The teachers say they will proceed as planned.
Court issues we are not aware. We have not seen it. We were in office until Friday evening 6 o'clock, and we have not been served with any court order. And in any case, even if we were served with any court order, then it has already been overtaken by events, and it is in itself illegitimate.
We will not give up until when salaries are harmonized, until when allowances are harmonized. Will as many are of a similar opinion say aye?
The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers KUPPET has also followed suit. The union says its members will join the rest and will down their tools on Wednesday, as the government has failed to fulfill a 100% salary increment as promised.
Lengo ambalo nafanya tunaitisha huu mgomo ni kitu cha kwanza, serikali izawazishe mishahara na marupurupu ya walimu na wale wafanyikazi wengine wa serikali.
NAT says they have continuously been ignored after they demanded a 300% salary increment and a 50% increment on responsibility allowances.
We have been patient enough for the last 15 years. And we are urging the public and Kenyans to understand our predicament and give us the necessary support.
In Nyeri, Met officials led by Nyeri branch chairman Patrick Kariga advised parents to take care of their children since there will be no teachers in school.
We have been waiting. This is the time they are saying, oh, this one is not happening. I don't know, we are not sensitive of what is going to happen with our kids. No. This is something that they could have done it quite early.
Teachers' unions have vowed that this time around the government must keep the promise, even as they made fresh demands that the government settles arrears for retired teachers with immediate effect. The fate of thousands of children, especially examination candidates, as they enter the shortest yet the most crucial term, lies in the hands of the government, which has failed to respond to teachers' demands. For KTN, I'm Angel Katusia.
Now, the latest entrant in the race to Kenya's State House is none other than Charity Kaluki Ngilu, the Kitui Central MP, Water Minister and NARC party leader. She joins the race, surprising observers just under 7 months to the general election after playing her cards close to her chest, even as rivals and allies formed alliances all around her. KTN's Asha Muilu attended the launch of Ngilu's second attempt and now brings you this story.
It's now official. Water Minister Charity Kaluki Ngilu is running for the country's top seat. Ngilu, who launched her presidential bid in Nairobi, has joined the growing list of presidential aspirants seeking to be the fourth Kenyan to occupy the house on the hill after the next general elections. And the women turned up in numbers from all counties to witness as Ngilu threw her heart in the ring. But even though she made history back in 1997, being the first Kenyan woman to run for the presidency and finishing 5th, this year Ngilu is approaching the presidential race differently.
You call her Mama Rainbow, Mama Ngilu, Waziri, but to me she's just Mom.
In her manifesto, Ngilu says she's keeping it simple.
Can we say that we live in a country in which we all enjoy decent lives? A decent life where a family is able to meet their basic needs. A decent life where disease is not a signature of death, but a life process that can be managed. A decent life where our young people are not condemned to beba, kumi, or mob justice because you have failed to provide them with opportunities.
She says her presidency will be about services.
We can provide all Kenyans with health care at a cost of 2,850 shillings per person per year, as quoted by various well-known health providers.
Analysts will be talking for weeks to come about the presence of two ODM MPs, Lorna Laboso and Rachel Shebesh, even though Ngilu has always been friendly with the ODM party.
Today we have come to a party which I believe is the most woman-friendly party in existence.
There is nobody else in this country who is a politician who understands grassroots better than Charity Kaluki Ngilu.
This also comes as a big partner in the works for both Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka after Ngilu reportedly indicated 2 months ago that she would work with the Prime Minister. Ngilu seeks to revive her NARC party, which had a rich inception back in 2001 when Mwai Kibaki, the late Kijana Wamalwa, and Charity Ngilu fronted the strong coalition, and with the backing of over 15 parties, threw the KANU regime out of power. Reporting for KTN, I'm Asha Muilu in Nairobi.
Well, after Charity Ngilu's entry into the Battle of the Titans, we dug deep into our archives to bring you something you may have forgotten by now. The following pictures will take many Kenyans down memory lane. It is November 18th, 2002. All leading opposition members, after agreeing to unite behind DP's Mwai Kibaki, accompanied him to County Hall to present his nomination papers to the then chairman of the Electoral Commission of Kenya, Samuel Kivuitu. Today, Kibaki is, of course, an outgoing president after 2 terms. Ngilu has just launched her presidential bid at KICC. Raila Odinga is running for president in ODM. Kalonzo Musyoka is the incumbent vice president and also running for the presidency on a Wiper Democratic Party ticket. And sadly, Michael Kijana Wamalwa and Professor George Saitoti and Martin Shikuku have all been laid to rest.
Well, and that party that sponsored Mwai Kibaki to the presidency in his first term, NARC, is what Charity Ngilu is using as her vehicle for this next general election. She hopes to use the same vehicle to take her to Parliament. Let's take you to Mombasa now, where it was a breath of fresh air today and a sigh of relief as Muslim religious leaders went to church to join Christians in a gesture of peace. The churches they visited were packed as the Muslims and Christians listened to messages of peace and summons from the church leaders following last week's riots that saw church premises burnt in 3 days of riots and grenade attacks.
Thank you.
In a very rare gesture of peace, Muslim religious leaders made their way to churches early morning this Sunday. This is a Kisauni Peace EEA church. The last time this church was in the news was last Tuesday when rowdy youth launched an attack on it during the riots that rocked the coastal town. However, today, a different story. Together they worshipped for hours, and just like the rest of the congregation, they sat and listened. They later visited Neno Evangelism Church in Sparky to a warm reception. Hundreds of worshippers showed up and the church was packed to capacity. When their time came, one by one, they made their way to the pulpit to preach messages of peace.
If you see any person buying a church, in the name of Islam, that person is going contrary to the teachings of the Holy Quran and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
The coast political leadership joined the Muslim clerics in the quest for harmony.
Sisi kama Waislamu tuliambiwa mtu ambaye ataudhi majirani na atawakera majirani atakuwa na adhabu kali mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Na ujumbe huo ulioletwa hawakusema jirani Mkristo na jirani Muislamu na jirani muhimu, ulisema jirani. Mungu anajua ndiye alituumba kwamba jirani haiwezekani kuwa ni dini moja.
The leaders distanced themselves from the rioting youth who attacked churches during the riots following the killing of Muslim cleric Sheikh Abud Rogo. The leaders challenged all Kenyans to coexist peacefully regardless of religion or race. For KTN, I'm Betty Kialo.
Now to the race for the presidency, where after the collapse of Luhya unity talks, a battle for numbers has erupted in western Kenya between presidential aspirants Eugene Wamalwa and Moses Wetangula. This comes as Musalia Mudavadi also took a swipe at those implying that he was wrong to join the race for the presidency. KTN's Asha Mwilu brings us the rest of the day's politics.
It's an all-out war in Western Kenya between Eugene Wamalwa's New Ford Kenya and Trade Minister Moses Wetangula's Ford Kenya party. In Trans Nzoia County, Justice Minister Eugene Wamalwa was receiving what they called a bumper harvest of defectors from Wetangula's party.
Na naamini ya kwamba hapa Trans Nzoia muko na kijana mmelea vizuri, mmemwelimisha vizuri na ana maono mazuri kwa taifa letu. Nafasi ndio natafuta niende nitekeleze hayo ambayo ningeweza kutekeleza taifa hili.
Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi maintains he's not settling for anything less than the presidency. Mudavadi, who was on a Meet the People tour in Kakamega County, said he had shelved his ambitions in past elections and that 2013 is his turn to be on the ballot paper.
2002 nilisaidia mwingine, 2007 nikasaidia mwingine. Mwaka huu mimi niko uwanja na tutapambana paka mwisho.
And Prime Minister Raila Odinga, speaking in Meru, has called on voters to elect leaders who will implement the constitution. He was speaking at Mikinduni Primary School after gracing an occasion at Masombe Catholic Parish.
Tukienda kwa uchaguzi ujao, tukishinda na tushike hatamu sisi wenyewe, tukuna sheria kamili ambayo inaweza kupanua uchumi wa nchi hii kwa njia ya haraka zaidi.
Elsewhere, Safina leader Paul Mwite said that he's ready to face all presidential aspirants eyeing the top seat. Mwite said that if Kenyans elect him as their fourth president, his priority will be handling cases of historical injustices. Mwite was speaking in Chepalungu area in Bomet County. Asha Mwilu, KTN, Sunday Night Live.
And still staying with the general election that's slated for next year, persons with various forms of disabilities drawn from various organizations are opposing the proposed nomination fees by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, saying that the fees will lock many persons with disabilities out of the forthcoming polls. The groups are urging the government to scrap the nomination fees or make them as minimal as possible to ensure fairness and equity. IEBC has proposed nomination fees ranging from 25,000 shillings to $1 million for aspirants in the various political seats.
The next general elections shall be the first that persons with disabilities shall be participating meaningfully, both as candidates and as voters, and therefore such fees shall serve to deter them from participating. There is a bidirectional correlation between poverty and disabilities. Most persons with disabilities live in poverty, and therefore good but poor candidates may shy away from contesting.
The management of Kenya Airways is under pressure to stop its planned retrenchment of staff. According to the Aviation and Airport Services Workers Union, the planned retrenchment process is suspicious and could be used as a way to victimize the alleged errant employees. However, Kenya Airways Public Liaison Officer Chris Karanja has denied claims of victimization, assuring Kenyans that the rationalization program is part of the company's restructuring plans. The court had earlier this year issued an injunction stopping the Kenya Airways Board of Directors from implementing the retrenchment plan. That injunction was lifted, but the union last Thursday secured a second court order stopping Kenya Airways from sending home its employees until a case scheduled for the 6th of this month is heard and determined.
And have even now bought the aircrafts, meaning actually they're expanding the business. Now, what we are left wondering is, if they want to retrench the staff and they're buying more equipments, who are these who are coming to operate these equipments? Isn't this so malicious? Why do they have to retrench and yet again they are buying more equipments? Who are these who are going to operate these equipments? Yeah? That's what is questionable, and that's why we are saying the impunity Kenya was enjoying, we have to put it on a stop, because it's no more to be done again. If not, the only action we can take is the industrial action.
Well, we're just about to take a short break now, but when we come back, we'll be talking about tuning of cars. And what do you know about tuning cars?
You just had to ask me that, didn't you? Not much, but I'd love to ride in a cool one, so.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Betty Kiano will be giving us our feature tonight on Auto World. It's about tuning cars.
Can't serve any citizen with a court order on a weekend, anytime after 5 o'clock, working hours on Friday. So our strike is legitimate and protected, and we are asking the teachers of this country to stand with confidence, because this is a protected strike.
It's going to be a goal for Kenya and a goal for David Rudisha. David Rudisha is the world 800 meters champion.
Becoming a champion on the track for me started with being a champion on the playground. Play is important for children's healthy development, but while they play, they get exposed to harmful germs. When I heard from the safeguard team that good hand washing could reduce illnesses in children, I decided to accept the invitation from safeguard to join the work they are doing with our Kenyan playground champions. It takes a lot of effort to become a champion. Winning a race starts with taking the right step, like hand washing with Safeguard.
Safeguard, unbeatable protection for unbeatable champions. Martha gets up early for another working day. Nakama Tony, she has to make her way. Huko Kisumu, the nets are almost ready. Kazi Kwenye Lines is going real steady. Now huko Pwani, there's business to be done, both for Mama Amina and for John. Ingawaji wakati mwingine, things don't always work out the way we want them to. Tunajua just how hard it is to work in the dark of night. But the future's looking brighter, of that you can be sure. Popote ulipo nchini Kenya na chochote ufanyacho, you can be sure Kenya Power is there. Working hard, just like you. Kenyans supply the energy. We supply the power.
African dishes in association with Golden Fry.
Fish fingers. Ingredients: half a kilogram fish fillet, 1 cup all-purpose flour, 2 eggs beaten, 3 cloves of garlic crushed, 1½ cups of breadcrumbs, salt and pepper to taste, golden fry oil for frying. Directions: preheat the golden fry oil in a deep frying pan. Cut the fish into finger-shaped pieces. In a mixing bowl, combine the all-purpose flour with salt and pepper. In another mixing bowl, mix the beaten egg and crushed garlic. In a Ziploc bag, pour in the breadcrumbs. Dip the fish fingers in the flour mixture and coat evenly all round. Then into the beaten egg mixture, letting excess egg drip off. Finally, put the fish fingers into the breadcrumbs, lock the bag and shake to evenly coat the fish fingers. Fry the fish fingers in batches in the already hot oil for 2 to 3 minutes or until golden brown. Remove and drain on a paper towel. Serve with lemon halves and tartar sauce.
Golden Fry. Fries more, lasts longer. Eve Woman presents Eve Sisters. Come discover and maximize your potential this September at the Hilton Hotel on Saturday, 8 September from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Speakers include Supreme Court Judge Honorable Lady Justice Njoki Ndongo, Property Guru Sue Muraya, Coca-Cola's Public Relations and Communication Director Nora Odweso, and Dr. Sidi Trim, best-selling author, former U.S. Senator, revolutionary thinker, and transformational leader. Moderator will be Njoki Karoya of the Standard Group. Charges 2,000 shillings only. Advance payment by M-Pesa number 0708 789 789.
Don't ask me why, I'm the Galway guy.
From here on, I will take care of your grand, not Nandu.
Lisa, it's okay. It is just a small accident. I'm fine.
I'll take care of you. Till today, I've never seen you wearing anything else but a dress. Now the sari, this fashion, are you thinking of competing with me?
Well, what are you saying, Anjana?
You know very well what I'm trying to say. Look, Lajwanti, you're a village girl. And you better behave like a village girl.
Switch to U-Mobile and call other networks at just 3 shillings and call U2U for free all day and night.
Welcome back to KTN Sunday Night Live. I'm Eric Latin.
And I'm Anki Guta. Eric will be back a little later with the sport. But first, imagine staying silent for 10 days. No books, no television, and no friends to distract you. It's known as Vipassana Meditation, an ancient practice where man is forced to face himself and his thoughts. On tonight's feature, Catherine Wantho explores the Vipassana Meditation technique.
Would you leave your home to stay with a group of 40 or so people and remain silent for 10 days? Well, this group at the Kolping Center in Ongata Rongai is ready to do just that. Each of them is ready to embark on a journey of self-observation and self-realization with the hope that they will come out on the other side better people. The 10 days of silence is part of Vipassana Meditation, a non-religious practice that started more than 2,000 years ago.
Very simply, Vipassana Meditation is just taking your awareness and moving it around the body and feeling the sensation on the body. And the purpose of the exercise is to learn to keep the mind balanced in all situations. Because really, when there's something that upsets us in life, what we're really reacting to is not the thing outside, someone being mean to us or whatever. What we're reacting to is the sensation that causes on our body.
And some in the past have left before the 10 days were over, one of them being Kennedy Njoki, who is here to give the meditation process a second go.
My first course actually what happened, we came with some friends of mine, and we really didn't follow the rules. We used to talk. After the 6th day, then on the last day we decided, okay, we went to Rongai, went on a drinking spree. So basically, we were not successful.
Kennedy's first experience was a clear indication that it is not easy to face your own thoughts, emotions, and learn to accept and control them through concentration.
There's two main parts to the meditation. One is to concentrate the mind, and the second part, which is actually the main focus of the meditation, is to purify the mind, which is actually to change the negative habit patterns of the mind.
From day 4 to day 9, you practice Vipassana, and it takes that many days to really grasp the technique. That's why the course is 10 days. And then on day 10 morning, the students learn a new technique, and that technique is called metta. And metta means loving kindness. And after 10 days of practicing Vipassana, the purpose of Vipassana is mental purification. And as that process takes place, naturally, what comes up to fill the space is, feelings of happiness and kindness and goodwill. And on day 10, you learn this new technique, which is basically sharing that well-being you feel with other people.
For the concentration part of the mind, which is the first 3 days of the 10-day course, you're focusing the awareness at the breath coming in and going out of the nostrils. Okay, so for the first 3 days, you're just trying to be aware of the breath. Yeah? And some people find that can be very difficult, because as soon as they're aware of the breath, some thought comes into the mind and they're distracted. They start thinking about the future, or they start thinking about the past, and they realize for the last 15 minutes they've been rolling in the future, rolling in the past, and they come back to the breath. When they're aware, they become aware that they're not concentrating on the breath. Then they bring the mind back to the awareness of the breath, and that act of bringing the mind back to the awareness of the breath is the act of strengthening the concentration faculty of the mind.
According to the teachings of Vipassana, the way we react to situations, whether good or bad, is all in the mind. And for as long as we can control the mind, we can control the outcomes of these particular situations.
You have one situation where you have a sensation and the mind reacts, and the experience is so unpleasant. Yeah? You have another situation with the same sensation, and the mind doesn't react, and the experience is completely different. And that's what Vipassana is doing. It's training your mind at the deep level not to react to the sensation.
When you go through this course, you become aware of those feelings as they arise deep inside of you. So even though you may feel anger in the beginning, you're not carried away by it, because you can sense it coming up. You can sense it arising, and just be aware, oh, there is anger. So you're not aware that there is anger in me, or you're not confusing yourself with that I am angry, because it is not I who is angry. I am never angry. There is anger in me, so I watch it arising, and I can observe it, and it fizzles out.
Vipassana meditation has also been known to help those suffering with diseases or addictions to better understand their bodies.
This is not a technique to cure any disease. But we find that if we have a disease, the disease is one thing, but it's how we're managing the disease. It's how we're reacting to the disease. It's how the disease is affecting our mental state. Yeah? Vipassana will help with that.
As they went in for the 10-day meditation, some of the students we interviewed had varied expectations.
To enable me to get a handle of my life, I believe that I'll stop substance abuse, for starters, and I'll be able to relate with people in a good way.
Nilikuja hapa sababu nikuwe Mkristo, kuwe pamoja na Mungu, niendelee kuwa mtu wa Mungu.
I'm looking to know myself more. I want to find out who the ancient sages, when they tell you know thyself, that's exactly what I want to do with this course.
The Vipassana 10-day meditation takes place 3 times a year, with the next session scheduled for December 2012. The organization does not accept payment for the food and accommodation.
When someone comes to do a course, somebody else has already paid for their course. So there's no charge whatsoever for doing a course, not for the accommodation, the food, the teaching, anything at all. And that's an important part of the course, because when people are taking the course, they feel that I'm doing this based on the goodwill and charity of other people.
So the next time you want to control your anger, lust, addiction or fears, instead of running to the drink or keeping your emotions hidden, take a challenge and spend 10 days with yourself away from your comfort zone and see what happens. Catherine Omwando, KTN.
Catherine, thank you. Tuning cars was a thing of the Western world in the past, but Kenya today is definitely giving auto garages all over the world a run for their money. Tonight on Auto World, we start a journey of an extreme makeover, Kenyan style. Here's Betty Kialo with more.
The desire to look good at whatever cost is not only in the beauty industry all over the world, but it's becoming even bigger in the motor industry.
Pimp my ride.
Does this look familiar? If not, Pimp My Ride is all about customizing and restoring old beat-up cars. And guess what? In Kenya, we are with it. Garages behind this and so many other cars that have become attractions on the Kenyan roads. Call it a craze, tuning cars has become big business and the demand is increasing by the day. It's also a bold and daring affair because you can imagine buying a brand new car and trusting someone to dismantle it just to make it look even better in the end.
We do body kitting, we make our own body kits, we manufacture them. We also bring in body kits from abroad. We do interiors, we sell rims and tires.
I bet whenever you see some of these cars on the road, you wonder what exactly was done to them to make them look the way they do. And for the next few weeks, Auto World will show you how. This is the Jaguar S-Type, a fairly luxurious car that draws upon classic Jaguar styling, which is not so bad, but definitely outdated. Therefore, the question is, can this car look any better? And if yes, to what extent? Now the Jaguar is just about to enter the premises of Unity Garage, where it will be staying for the next 2 to 3 weeks. And taking a look at these pictures, boy oh boy, the transformation that is expected is 100% brilliant.
We're going to fit in some 20-inch rims with the nice Falcon tire and stuff. And then we're going to do a Panzai body kit interior and exterior. We're going to get some crystal headlights, like something to do with like the BMW that you've seen. Same with the taillights. We're going to put in some Skyline taillights. And basically a complete spray, in whites.
When this car is done, this is how the end product should be. A sporty, playful, rounder, caviar piece of engineering. This is a Panzani design, one that will see the back of the Jaguar have a 360 degrees change. The side mirrors, a front grille and interior will also be different. Looks like a serious one, this one. William John, who is the owner of the Jag, says that he came all the way from Tanzania for this makeover. I ask him how prepared he is, as this should be a costly affair, and he tells me, with the experience that Azjad has acquired over the years, he assured me that what we see is what we will get, and that he will definitely ace it. And with that, Autoworld will keep tabs on the process to show you how they do it on Kenya's own mini version of Juice My Ride. For Autoworld, I'm Betty Kialo.
Autoworld next week, a must-watch. Now, unfortunately, it is said that Kenyans have a peculiar liking for all movies made by anyone who is not Kenyan. In other words, we simply don't support our local artists enough and prefer the actors of Hollywood, Nollywood, and even Bollywood. But it would seem that the Kenyan film industry has finally come of age with the introduction of Nairobi Half-Life. KTN's Catherine Omampo takes a look at the latest, most popular local production.
It's a story of a boy with a big dream. Though based on fiction, Nairobi Half-Life tells a story that so many of us can relate to. That could be because it's a film tailor-made for Kenyans by Kenyans.
It's a Kenyan story, and this is an everyday event. Yeah, somebody can actually go through what you've seen.
Nairobi Half-Life's main character, Mwas, played by Joseph Kimani, moves to Nairobi in search of fame but ends up mixing with the wrong crowd and leads a deadly double life.
Natafutaka life. Atukingi life hapa. Unaweza niorganizea kawax?
Take Mwas out of his acting dream. There are different kind of Mwases from different kind of professionals, from different kind of careers. Everybody has a struggle, and the end importance or the end message that we're putting across is that despite anything, despite all odds, all things are possible.
Nairobi Half-Life is evidence that the Kenyan film industry has made strides over the years.
Get permits from the DFS, where you have to take a script and send the script for approval. And I'm very glad that our police were very supportive in this. We actually filmed in town in a police station, and they're beginning to recognize film, that is film is film.
The masses have really come of age and are quite receptive that they want more local content. And we as actors, that means we have a job. We have something to put on our tables.
However, shooting the film did come with its challenges.
All our locations were live locations, real locations. We didn't have sets so that the camera can have a special move or something. So whatever space we had is what we had to use.
Nairobi Half-Life premiered on the 31st of August at Nairobi's Westgate Shopping Mall and will premiere in Mombasa on the 7th of September at the Nyali Cineplex. Please bear in mind that the film is for a mature audience. Catherine Omwando, KTN.
Always good to see something Kenyan making it, big.
Oh, yes.
Wish them the best,
Definitely.
yeah.
Wish them all the best. Let them come up with more of such movies.
Absolutely. So you're back with the sports and...
Shortly. A couple of weeks ago I told you this man called Lewis Hamilton is useless.
Your words,
I will be telling you again how useless he is shortly after this. Plus, 2 Arsenal teams have played today. Both have won. I'll be back with the details.
She's got a cold again.
Well, I'm sure you're taking proper care of your hygiene.
Yes, I use antiseptic liquid in the bath water.
But germs are also getting smarter, and your protection is still the same.
So what's better?
Advanced Lifebuoy. While bathing, it gives better germ protection than antiseptic liquid. 10 infection-causing germs, 1 advanced protection. Lifebuoy.
That's right. Yeah, I wanna see it right. That's my song. And my dreams, I've been waiting. Let's go. Party rock is in the house tonight. Everybody just have a good time. Stay young, do milk, stay young. Do milk. It's all about big laughter.
They say the road to heaven is short and narrow. Now, if you are tall and fat, where will you pass?
It's all about the best comedians.
I was looking at you because you are looking at me.
It's all about the best jokes. It's the biggest, craziest comedy show on TV, and it's coming to KTN.
Swag nayo.
As Kenya continues to develop at the county level, you are more and more interested in the stories and issues that touch on your county. That's why the County Weekly is committed to giving you more of the facts you care about. Facts about your county, your stories, your issues, your county. County Weekly. It's new, it's fresh, it's relevant. Get your copy today.
Eve Woman presents Eve Sisters. Come discover and maximize your potential this September at the Hilton Hotel on Saturday, 8th September from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Speakers include Supreme Court Judge Honorable Lady Justice Njoki Ndongo, Property Guru Sue Muraya, Coca-Cola's Public Relations and Communication Director Nora Odweso, and Dr. Sidi Trim, best-selling author, former U.S. Senator, revolutionary thinker, and transformational leader. Moderator will be Njoki Karoya of the Standard Group. Charges 2,000 shillings only. Advance payment by M-Pesa number 0708 789 789.
The time, 30-40 up. That could be game for the match now. 6 cup quarterfinals, 3 semis and 1 final.
We keep it sports.
Hey, I see the hurt upon your face, thinking how much more of this can I take? In a minute I'm about to break. Today, see the pain has brought the sorrow going away. There's a harvest if you're on the way. You're walking now, I need you to stay. Today,
No, you never felt winds blow like this before. But if what you see is all you see, you will miss the
Now top up internet bundles with your scratch card. Dial star 544 star, enter the 16-digit PIN number, hash from Safaricom.
Let's start KTN Sports today with news from FKF, where AFC Leopards has joined other Premier League clubs such as Gor Mahia and Sofapaka in the FKF President's Cup quarters after a 3-1 drubbing over Congo United at the Nyayo National Stadium. Victor Ogale followed the proceedings and filed this report.
AFC Leopards putting everything in this match, notwithstanding that their opponents play in the lower league. But they had to wait till the 23rd minute to find the net, courtesy over Charles Okwemba's header. Moments later, Congo JMG United's Timothy Otieno restored parity for a 1-1 scoreline at the breather. After the break, Ingwe coach Jan Coops brought in Mike Baraza in place of Samuel Bisemwangi. Baraza created Ingwe's second goal after setting up Alan Wanga on 78 minutes. Later, Paul Were put through Mike Baraza to make it 3-1. The match was also attended by New Harambee Stars coach Henry Michel.
We know that Baraza also can make goals, and that's why we put him in the second half. Because then the opponent, most of the time, they are a little bit tired, and then that's the time also for Baraza to make goals.
Akaniambia niketi pale nje nikiangalia ambapo mchezo unaendelea, kama nitahitajika nije njaribu kubadilisha mchezo, na nashukuru Mungu kwa sababu nimekuja nikafanya vile.
Tulikuja kama underdogs, lakini tulikuwa tumejiamini. Sasa tukagive our best, tulikuwa na confidence na mambo semetua mpata chances zao na waka-capitalize.
AFC Leopards will now face off with Karuturi Sports in the quarterfinals. The Flower Men edged out Nairobi's team of 4-3 through penalties after barren draw in regulation time.
With AFC Leopards having qualified for the quarterfinals of the FKF President's Cup, more competition is expected as other Kenya Premier League clubs have also qualified, such as Gor Mahia and Sofapaka. Victor Ogale, KTN Nyayo Stadium, Nairobi.
David Korir has qualified for the finals of the men's 1500 meters T12 class of the London Paralympic Games. Korir, who won heat 2, broke Paralympics record in the process. He was joined in the final by Henry Kirwa, who finished second in the first heat. Meanwhile, Hannah Mwangi was disqualified in the women's 400 meters T12 category. Mwangi took part